I mean, we've definitely eclipsed about $35 million on that particular funnel.
Hello, and welcome to Funnel Masters, the show where top marketers expose the inner workings of their sales process and share their best takeaway tactics so you can replicate them for yourself. I'm your host, Andy Fletcher, and today's Funnel Master is responsible for a single funnel that's practically unchanged since 2015. In that time, it's done over $35 million of sales and added tens of thousands of customers to a monthly recurring plan. Here to tell you all about it is co-founder of Viddyoze, Joey Xoto. Hey Joey, thanks so much for joining us on Funnel Masters today. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, Andy. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Okay, so let's kick off with what the funnel. So tell me, like, who are you? What's the funnel you're talking about? Tell us why people should be interested.
Sure. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the Viddyoze funnel. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm the co-founder of Viddyoze with my two business partners, David and Jamie. In 2015, we launched a kind of like a one-time perpetual license funnel, which has been pretty much running for the last almost 6 years now. And we have not faltered from that funnel ever since. And the reason we haven't is because it kills it and it works every single time. And we probably won't ever change it unless something drastic happens. But that's going to be the funnel we use until we leave this company, probably.
It is one of the funnels I'm like most jealous of in the industry at the moment. So well done for that, mate. Okay, let's dig in then. What are you selling? What's the product? What's the offer?
Sure. So Viddyoze is basically a web-based video creator. It's designed to allow absolutely anybody to create good-looking video content in the most effortless way. It pretty much takes a couple of minutes to create a really nice, shiny video. You don't have to have any kind of technical knowledge. You don't need any expertise, design skills. We pretty much do all the hard work for you. Well, we don't. The robot does, called Viddyoze. So that's pretty much it, really. Like, it allows you to create great content without any technical ability needed. So in terms of, I mean, what would you like me to kind of get into the funnel, like kind of how it
Yeah,
works?
definitely. Let's dig in. Let's talk about the stages in the funnel. What can they buy where? Like, I know this is one of the coolest parts about your funnel. So let's
Sure.
get into
So
it.
essentially, the app is a video creator, right? But the way it works is it's based on templates. So the way that we make it really easy for people is that we have pre-created templates that allow people to just customize a couple of different portions of the template and then go and create a video. So as an example, we allow people to create logo animations. So a logo animation is just when video starts, your logo pops up, it spins around, does some really cool stuff, and then it flies off, and that's it. Now, you could upload your own logo in place of our one or anybody else's one, which makes the video unique to you. The benefit of this is that we've done all the hard work and the animation for you. So you don't have to know how to make that animation, because to be honest, it would take you weeks to create it. So that's kind of the benefit of the product. Now, the reason I explain that is because we have about 2,000 templates on that platform. So the way we kind of think about this from the funnel perspective is, how do we kind of break that up and give people enough value to make them buy not just once but multiple times in the funnel? Now, we could just go and give everybody 2,000 templates right away and just charge them a monthly recurring fee to get everything. That's fine, and I know a lot of companies do that kind of thing with similar products. But what we do is we take a small portion of the templates and give them away for a one-time fee. So I think it's around about 250 templates that we give people access to for a one-time fee of $67. Now, what that does is it gives people a bit of a taster. It's almost like a reverse free trial. So we charge people to test the product out. They get a little taster of kind of what's in there. We don't just give them bad templates. We give them really good ones that are some of the most rendered ones on the platform. They get 200 plus templates they can try out. And then what happens then is we upsell them into the recurring subscription. So the subscription basically gives people access to every single template on the platform since inception, and it gives people new templates every single month. So it's really, really sticky, because at the end of the day, we're just giving people more of what they've already got, but just a lot of it, and we're giving them more of it every single month. So provided they like the product, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to subscribe, because we're just giving them more of what they've already bought. So the way the funnel works is we give that the $67 offer is right away. They get the templates, and then we do an instant upsell for $37 a month to every single template in the platform. That's pretty much the fundamental funnel. Like, that's the kind of core of the funnel. There are a few other steps in there, but really that portion drives pretty much 90% of the revenue in our business. Everything else kind of comes from a couple of downsells and a few other upsells as well. So that's the kind of abridged version of the funnel. Let me know if you need any more detail. Obviously.
Excellent. So does that work for both like launches and paid traffic? Do you change it up between the two? Does it change much?
We've tested quite a few variations of this before, and to be honest, we always end up using the same funnel every time. The launch funnel we used all the way back in September 2015 is still kind of what we use now. We changed the pricing a little bit. Like we sometimes make it more expensive. We sometimes test at a lower price, but the core methodology of the funnel is the same. It's a one-time fee, and then it just goes into the recurring. The recurring's always been 37 a month. We've never increased that. It's always been what it is. We've tested out a free trial a couple of times, a $1 trial a couple of times on the upsell, but ultimately we always end up reverting back to the 37 a month. We reserve the $1 trial for our internal marketing. So sometimes we'll send email automations out. We'll do like contests, and we'll kind of save the $1 trials for like a special event or a holiday. So July the 4th, for example, we've done a big dollar campaign, a dollar trial campaign. We've done really well with that. So, we reserve that $1 trial for just the special occasions, but that day-to-day operation funnel is just the one-time fee and then the $37 a month.
And then it's been literally 37 on the recurring since day one. And I imagine at this point, it's like, maybe there's a better number, but like, let's not risk testing it because it works so well.
Yeah, and there's also the risk of like, the thing with the recurring product is when you start changing the product, you've got to answer to all these other people who are wondering why your price keeps changing. And, people don't like to see the price go lower, obviously. Because if they've already bought, they don't want to see the price go lower because that'll piss them off. So if you make it higher, they feel better because it's like they got a really great deal. But then again, you might get a lower conversion at a higher price point, and then you're thinking, but we now have to go cheaper again, and then you're always going to end up upsetting someone. So it's just better off just sticking to the price point is what we've found. We've never really tested that price point, but it works really well right now. We've got I'd say an average of a 20 to 25% conversion rate instantly on the upsell. So what I mean by that is because it's an instant upsell, you'll see the offer straight away. We have an instant 20 to 25% conversion on that, which is pretty high for paid traffic, I would say. In the launch funnel, to be honest, it's not too dissimilar. If we're using affiliates, we normally creep up towards 30%, sometimes a little bit higher. But typically 20 to 30% is what we see there. We've tested that upsell page, not tested, we've made a lot of variations of that upsell page. Different types of videos, different lengths, different benefits we talk about. We've tried so many structures around that page. So we have really vigorously tested it in terms of getting the conversion right there. But yeah, price has always been the same. What we really test on that page is the structure of the page, the videos, the layout, and that kind of stuff.
Excellent. When you were testing that, what were some of the factors about the page that like really moved the needle in terms of conversions?
The first big one was just the actual video at the top itself. We used to have a kind of like an explainer video which talked about what the benefits were and all of that, which sounds like it probably would be a good thing to do, but because it's such a visual product, what we started to do then was just show the templates. So we literally just done music, templates, here's what you're going to get if you upgrade, and it's really that simple. Like we've really simplified kind of what the page is. So we tested that, and that seemed to work quite well. Yeah, I think the biggest things were showing more of the visuals of the templates, reducing the amount of copy in a way. We tried testing out things like bonuses as well. So we gave away a couple of extra things with the template club offer. We noticed that didn't actually do anything at all. So ended up stripping that back. We've tried English accents, American accents. We've tried music and no music. Tried all kinds of different things. And ultimately, we ended up landing on the simpler page with really non-fancy stuff on it. It seems to do the best.
Fantastic. I mean, that's a far cry from digital marketing sales pages of old, where it was like a really big dog and pony show. I guess when you got fantastic software, it really does sell itself.
Yeah, I think we were in a habit of like doing the longer form pages just because of where we started from. And I think there was a marketing person who kind of made a really good point, and he just said, our kind of like mantra in the business is just 3 clicks, and it comes from this idea of, we allow people to do something in 3 clicks. Now it's not always 3 clicks, so don't hold me to ransom for that, but the whole idea of it is like we're trying to make it as simple as 1, 2, 3. So what he said was, look, like your product's really simple, like it does one thing, and it's really fast to do, but your sales page is like bang. So it's like there's a disconnect, and he just thought, why can't you just show me what you do a lot faster? And when he said that, it was like, why can't we show you what we do a lot faster? So it was like we just changed a lot of the way we were kind of positioning it. And this is an exercise we're still kind of going through now. Like we have shorter renditions of the sales page now, which are going to be rolling out soon, and we're constantly testing the pages. Like the funnel has never changed. It's always been, let's make the page convert better, the best that we can, and then we've left the funnel exactly as it is.
That's fantastic. So I know you've done different front ends over the years, like particularly as part of different launches. Can you talk a bit about how you were thinking about structuring that? Because I know it's the same upsell offer, but I know you've had like different front ends for it. What were you thinking there?
Yeah, so we did what we normally do, it depends on where we're selling it. Like if it's a launch type offer with affiliates, we tend to bring the price down a little bit to like the 67 range. We feel that's a really nice kind of middle price. It's not too low, it's not too high, so the conversion's always quite good. I think
And it's
typically
97 public price when you're doing paid traffic?
Yeah. So when we have it on our main website, you'll actually see it for 127 now, I believe. We've always floated between 97 and 127 on the main website, but then with the launch offer, we just go 67. So it's nice to have that live, because when people go and Google you and they see the actual price is $100, like it's a genuine limited offer. It's not false scarcity or anything. It's a real thing. And that really helps us to drive those conversions on the front end a little bit. And then another thing that we do, which I want to save it for my kind of tip, but another thing we do is we kind of do 2 price points on the front end offer. And the reason we do that is it's just a strategy to basically create a decoy offer. The best explanation for this is like when you go to like your local supermarket, and it's like you'll see a 2 for 3 offer or a 1 for 2 offer. Sorry, 1 for 2, a 3 for 2 offer.
I was going to let you get away with that if you blew past it.
A 3 for 2 or a 2 for 1 offer. So it's like you can get double the amount of Coca-Cola for the price of 1. So it's like, why would you not just pick up 2 bottles? The only reason you wouldn't is because you got to physically pick up 2 bottles. So there's a physical limitation. But when you're online, there is no limitation. So it's like, right, let's just give you loads of stuff for a lot less. So what ends up happening is we create a $47 price point where they get the same number of templates, but what we do is we add all these restrictions to it. So we say you can only make 30 videos a month with that license, and you don't have any commercial resale rights on that license. So you couldn't make an animation or a video and then sell it to someone for profit. You just can't do that with that license. But if you pay $67, you get all those animations. You can make them as many times as you want, and you can sell it to whoever you want and make as much money as you want. So if you're looking at that and you're like, well, it's an extra $20, like why would I not just do that? Because I can resell the animations. I can make that $20 back in like a couple of hours with this product. So, what we do is by having that kind of decoy offer, we end up bumping up the conversion on the 67. Like the $47 product has basically a virtually nothing conversion rate. It's less than 1%, because
there's always somebody that buys it though, right?
Yeah, there's people that buy it, yeah, like for some reason, but for whatever reason, maybe they genuinely just can't afford that extra $20, which is, it can happen. But realistically, like the offer's not there to sell; it's just there to basically not sell, so that the other one sells. And that's worked like amazingly well for us in the past. It works better on a launch, I would say, than an actual paid funnel. What we found is on the paid funnel, it sometimes can have a bit of a negative effect where people are taking too long to decide. So when we look at the metrics and the numbers, it's like they're spending a lot more time on the page because they're comparing tables. So what we find with the paid funnel is like, let's just give them one price, and that seems to have actually helped our conversions a little bit. So it does depend on what you're doing. If you're going on an affiliate funnel, I would 100% recommend using that funnel, because that setup with the pricing, because it just works amazingly well. It doesn't mean that it wouldn't work on a paid funnel, by the way. I think we need to do more testing around the price points on the paid funnel to really justify or really validate whether it doesn't work as well. I think we've ran that offer for so long that we need to test the pricing on the paid side a little bit. But right now, we're doing $67 on the paid funnel, and it's just $67. It's just that one price, and that's converting quite well for us. On cold traffic, conversions on cold traffic are always quite brutal. To be honest, they're not they're not the friendliest of things. So we normally float between like 2 and 4% on the front end, which is
I mean,
pretty good.
for cold paid traffic, that's a phenomenal number. I know many marketers that would kill their granny for those kind of numbers.
Yeah, so we've done pretty well on cold traffic, and I think it ultimately has just come down to the amount of testing we've done on that. Like, I think sometimes we give ourselves a hard time because it's like, we don't test enough. But after 6 years, I think we've tested I think enough to know what works on our particular funnel and what doesn't. So yeah, we've tried a lot of different
Well, I
types.
mean, you've got some pretty big numbers to prove you've sold 1 or 2 units of it. What's
Yeah,
the
we've done.
what's the current fancy number?
So on that funnel, I'd say we've definitely eclipsed about $35 million on that particular funnel, and that's probably spread across paid affiliates. Like, I couldn't give you the exact number right now, to be honest. Like, I mean, last year, to put into context, I think we did about $10 million revenue last year, maybe $11 million. So it was a big year last year, and a lot of that was down to the fact that people came online a lot more. There's a lot of people at home. For us, it was great because it was like, all these people just want a really simple tool, and they don't want to go and learn a new skill. So it's like our tool fit perfectly in that little market where it was like, people want to do something new, they want to learn a new skill, but they don't really have the time for it, and it's the perfect product for that. So we learned a lot last year about our customers and about why people were buying the product, and that's really helped.
That's fantastic. So it's clearly going really well, but I'm obviously obligated to ask you the question: what's the biggest mistake you've made? You must have screwed something up as part of it. Where's it gone wrong at some point?
I think the biggest thing that we were still trying to kind of overcome is like diversification in your go to market kind of strategy. Um, I think when we first started, it was like, let's use the affiliate model. We used the affiliate model to death for years. Um, and then it was like 2017, I guess, 2018-ish. And it was like, let's really get this paid traffic thing down. And it took us a long time to get it down. And the honest answer is, there is never getting it down. There is never, we've got it with paid traffic. It literally is a constant uphill battle. Um, if you can afford to have that battle, you can do really well. If you can't afford to do it, it's really fucking stressful. And we've been on both sides of that, like, where it's just like, this is costing a lot of money. But then we've had really great times where we've spent 7 figures in a month on paid traffic, and it's resulted in positive returns. So we've seen both sides of it, and I'd say the biggest challenge has been like having more to one go to market strategy, and making sure one of those strategies isn't just 5% of your revenue. Like, you want to be trying to constantly work on diversifying where your customers are coming from, and that can be SEO, it can be telesales or on the phone, webinars, affiliates, paid traffic. It's got to be a mixture of things. And I think the more you can mix it up, the safer you're going to feel like in this whole thing. Because as soon as one thing goes wrong, like, it's really stressful. Like, after the pandemic, like, there was a time where our CPA was like $20. It was ridiculous.
$20 on a like $67-$97 front
Yeah.
end.
So it was really fun for a little while. And then as soon as you start seeing the CPA coming up, it's like, okay, getting a bit nervous now. And then the CPA is higher than your price point. And it's like, right now we got to work out our numbers really tight. So we know that if we're spending $100 on a customer, or $110 on a customer, we're still going to be okay because we get the kickback on the recurring eventually. So, and again, to do that, you need to have money in the bank. You need to be really tight on your numbers, and you got to be pretty ballsy as well, because we don't have any investment. This is just, it's just us free, and it's our money. So, if it starts going wrong, it's basically our livelihoods. So you've got to be very, very tight on the numbers if you're going to play that game, which again is the reason why you probably don't want to play that game, like regardless of whether you have investment or not. Like, and it's something we're trying to balance at the moment, where we've got a sales team in place. They're doing okay. They're not doing amazing right now, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think they're doing the best they can with what we've given them. It's still a department that we're building and trying to process out a bit and really grow. So we're trying to do that and combat that. And then the affiliate side of things, we kind of don't really do anymore. And we had a conversation about this a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, why don't we do this? Like, why don't we just keep doing this? Because we made a lot of money doing that. And so now we're reintroducing the affiliate model, but in a bit more of a sustainable way, where it's not going to, be launch after launch. It's more organic and that kind of thing. And we can put a bit of money into advertising it a little bit differently. So we're trying to build a bit more of a commercial affiliate program. We're building an internal referral system as well. So, I know a lot of people do this really well, but we don't have like a proper internal referral system where we get our customers to advocate the product, and then we give them like free stuff because they're referring the product. That's a really powerful way to get more customers into your business. And again, it's not something we've done yet, but it's the stuff we're putting into place. So yeah, long answer, but the short answer really is just diversify where you're getting your customers from. I think that's something we didn't do right, and we're trying to fix that now.
Fantastic. Okay, last question then. Where are you taking it next? What's the next big thing for Viddyoze?
We basically have gotten to a stage now where the company is growing. And when I mean growing, I don't mean revenue. I mean operationally. I think people, processes. I think the right way to say it is it's maturing. And because the company is maturing, there's a lot of professionalization that has to come into the company. And what I mean by that is like, it's process basically. It's not like everything is just really fluid. Everything's just all over the place. There's a structure to the way that things are done, to the way from the way that development is deployed, to how campaigns come together in marketing, to how blog posts go out, how podcasts get done. Like everything has a process, and the more we do that, the more professional the business becomes, and the more it allows me, David, and Jamie to kind of step back from a system. Because for us to really step back and put someone in place, it requires a proper system that works without us really having to be there. And that's really what we're trying to create right now. And then outside of that, the entire product is being kind of revamped and rebuilt. We're changing the positioning of the product a little bit. We're trying to make it more, not more, but I think we're just trying to get the positioning of the product more accurate to what we're trying to solve, the problems we're trying to solve. I think over the years, the product's become quite convoluted in a way, because we're adding a lot of features in that don't necessarily fit our core values. And again, it's just a learning experience, because as a company, sometimes you just think as a software, it's like the more stuff you add in, the more money you're going to make, but it's just not like that. And that's just something we've learned over time. We think that we can reduce churn by adding in more cool stuff. Again, just doesn't work like that. So it's hard lessons we've had to learn, but it's a really good lesson as well, because we're in a position where we can afford to do this, where we're about to strip the product back, change it completely, and reintroduce it into the market, and it will be a completely fresh product. And that's going to help us with churn, with our customers, with our positioning. It will help with ads, because it's a new product as well, because this is another thing with paid advertising. Like, your product does have a lifespan. Even if you change your landing pages, your product does have a lifespan. And Bill Gates once kind of talked about how they would always revitalize Microsoft every 3 years. Don't really think they did, but like he wanted to revitalize Microsoft every 3 years, where it was new and interesting and fresh. And the reason he wanted to do that is because he understood that software does have a shelf life. So I think that's a lesson we've learned over the last kind of year or so. It's like we don't want to stop innovating. And I think we've been through a few different things in the business where our attention's been diverted. For example, we were potentially going to go and raise money go down the private equity route. We decided not to in the end when we walked away from it. And ultimately, it was just because the timing wasn't right, business wasn't in the right way, processes weren't right. So we had to kind of step back and say, look, let's just take our time. There's no rush here. We're not desperate for cash. Let's just take our time and build things out properly, and then we'll try it again later when the time's right. But right now, it's just about getting things right, getting the product right, positioning right, and that's it. So that's where we're going. It's just new product, again, like transforming everybody here, like giving people in the company more responsibility and kind of training them. Me and David and Jamie, we're all kind of developing ourselves as well. Like I'm studying at the moment, like I'm doing a diploma in strategic management and leadership. David's doing a similar thing. I know Jamie wants to do like an MBA. And it's not because we're trying to pick up these like qualifications. I don't really care about the certificates and all that crap. I'm more concerned
It's good to have
about
something to fall back on when it doesn't work out, right?
it's just like, I think when you learn about business in school, you can't apply the knowledge because you don't have a business. Whereas when I read about it now, I can actually look at my business and say, like, so this is why culture is important, and this is why it's important to have values, and this is why it's important to like have one-to-ones every month, and what it means for your people. And it's stuff that I'm learning and implementing in the business, and I can see how much of a dramatic change it's having in our business, in a really positive way. So I guess the reason I wanted to do it personally was like, I just want to be better at my job. Like I want to do better here. And I think there's only so much you can rely on the outside to improve your business. Like we can hire people in, we can get better ads people, we can write better copy, improve the product, but ultimately we're the ones driving this whole machine. So if we can get better, then hopefully everything can get better. If that makes sense.
It does. It's a really inspiring message. Thank you so much for sharing all the details, and thank you for letting us include like the simulation of Viddyoze in our upcoming Simulatory product. We really appreciate that. And we've already done your sort of takeaway tactic that came up in the middle, so we won't repeat it here unless there's any bits about that decoy pricing you wanted to add before we finish up.
I think it's pretty clear. Just the core essence of it is have 2 price points and stack all your really cool stuff in the one you want to sell. And that's basically it.
There you go. That's clearly one of the sound bites I'm going to use advertising this podcast. Joey, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for letting us include this stuff in Simulatory. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. And obviously, like I wanted to say as well, like convertery is an amazing product. We have promoted convertery 3 times, 4 times. I can't remember now, like how many times we've partnered with you guys, but what I wanted to say was the reason we've partnered with convertery so many times is it's just a great product. We ran convertery on all our paid advertising for quite a long time, and the reason we did that was because it was reliable. Like, and this I'm saying this off my own back. Andy's not asked me to say this, so just to kind of make it clear. But when we wanted to ramp up our advertising, we were running thousands and thousands of people through that funnel every day. It was really important for us to have speed and reliability. We never had a single issue running our stuff on convertery. And the important part about it as well is that there was no limitation on the way that we wanted to make the pages look. So, we have a really fancy designer in-house who does some incredible design work, who's worked with Andy as well, actually, ironically. But like the reason I say that is because it didn't limit us by using convertery, because all we needed to do was take our designer's stuff and we could move it to convertery without really any effort. It took like a couple of days and we had it all down. So, I think it's just something to say. Like, I think product's amazing. You guys have come a really far way over the last few years. Like, I've seen the product evolve, and I know we don't talk all the time, but I always watch in the group, and I know the changes that are happening in convertery all the time. So, really great to see. Like, I wish you guys the best of luck as well. I know you got a new kind of thing coming up at the end of the year as well. So I wish you guys the best with that, and we'll obviously support you any way that we can, like we always have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Joe. It's been great to have you on the show. Cheers for coming.
Thanks, Andy. Take care.
Thanks for watching Funnel Masters. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Coming up next on Funnel Masters.
Whereas most funnels give away the boat and sell the island, you're moving it from nice to have to being critical and essential to have.
About a third of people who buy the front end are then taking this $97 upsell. Turned 400 clicks into like $9,500 in sales.
Actually, it's all to do with what is the proposition, what is the offer, what is the problem that you're solving. You often think, oh, it's the price. Like, if they're going to say no to a $97 thing, they're not going to say yes to the $295. That's not the truth.